Hello, it's Sarah Black Spiker here, and welcome to Elite Mystique Agency's teaching moment. Actually, the teaching is going to be a little bit longer than just a moment, but it's going to be worth it because we're going to be talking about time. We're going to be talking about time batching and creating a flow in your schedule, reimagining possibilities, and really transforming how your days, how your weeks, how your months get to look like. I got inspired to put this training together the other day when I was reviewing just how far I've personally came in my own business. For the past 10 years, I have been, in case you're not aware, I have been running my home-based business and raising two little ones while also traveling for weeks on end. That was before the world shut down. In the pandemic, the kids were home, just like with millions of other moms. I got to really multitask and really had to master this ability to do so many things in a very short amount of time, juggle, and I have learned quite a few things that, even after 10 years of doing so, there are still some sticky points. That inspired me to really take a look into my own schedule, which as a business owner, I do have the privilege and advantage of doing, and I realized not everybody has that. And in doing so, I was able to create a system that really supports me, and I wanted to share with you some of those insights because chances are that you might be having gaps, leaks, bottlenecks in the way how your days are structured and could be optimized to support you and your family and your business, your organization much better. Or in case that really cannot happen, that certain things are just quote unquote cemented in place, how can we adjust your attitude around it so that you don't feel like it's draining you and depleting you, but it again allows you to preserve energy and circulate more of it? So without further ado, I want to dive into batching. I'm gonna add these PDFs also in for the visual aspect, but I'm gonna talk you through it in the meantime. So first thing that I invite you to really get honest with yourself, and that's going to take, it can be done immediately or it can be a project that's going to be requiring you to really take a look and notice and be aware of every single thing that you have been doing and then list it in the order of priorities. A simple way to do that is to simply take a piece of paper and divide it into 3 columns. Yes, no, maybe. In the yes column, it's all the stuff that you absolutely love, that energizes you, that you enjoy doing, that are also your responsibilities, but you don't really mind. In the no column is everything totally opposite. Things that are on your list, things that are your responsibilities, things that you are committed to, but they are draining you. You hate doing them. You're blowing out at the seams because it is so much that you just don't want to be involved with anymore, don't want to be committed to anymore. And then the column maybe is kind of like in between. All right, if it's here, I don't really care if it's not. What this is going to allow you to do is to just get a clear picture, because oftentimes, especially with invisible work that we women in particular carry, holding it all in our heads can sometimes feel like this dark cloud. The moment we put it on the paper, we can breathe, because now we can see it, we can sort it through, we can organize it, and we can change the order of priorities, which is going to be the second step. Organizing order of priorities, which also means taking off, starting with perhaps at least one thing on your no list, taking that off. How? There's many different ways. I cannot possibly make an assumption because I don't know for particular situation what is on your no list, but we can get creative. If you want to reach out, Diane and I can really help you with that. In fact, if you're watching this and you are a member, you also get a 10-minute call, Bitch Fest call with Diane and I, and that would be a perfect opportunity to help us, to have you be supported by us personally in rearranging and getting this thing off of your no list. The objection here is to really start creating a much more aligned playlist for yourself. And mind you, I did not say to-do list, but a playlist. Again, shifting how we see things and shifting our attitude towards it. So a playlist it is. Then what you're going to do is you're going to look into at your capacity. And one of the really simple ways to do so is, again, taking a piece of paper, breaking it down into a very old-fashioned schedule, Monday to Sunday, and then whatever hours in a day. And then just play with some colorful gel pens or markers. Like if you were here in my office, I have one pencil case with these guys. I have another cart with these guys. Get creative. You know, as adults, I think sometimes we just forgot how it feels to just play and be enjoying all these colors and all this fun stuff that we used to do as kids. So might as well, right? If you're already doing something, might as well having fun with it. So what I would invite you to do is to, as you're looking at your capacity, take one color and start marking off and coloring off and blocking off times for things that are non-negotiable. Only you know what is non-negotiable for you. Again, refer to the yes list. In addition, you're going to start blocking times off for things that you know are required by your family. Morning and afternoon school drop-off and pickup times. If you are in charge of that, that needs to go in your schedule. If you're commuting to office, you need to put that time on your schedule. You block that time off. And as you're making your way through, you're also blocking out the time that you know you can dedicate to the work, that you can dedicate to hobbies, that you can dedicate to any other thing that you are currently investing your time, your energy, your attention into. The key to this is, again, to have things black and white. Chances are you already are a household, running a household. Chances are you already have one of those bad boys on a kitchen wall. I know I have one downstairs on a kitchen wall, and all of the important events are color coordinated for the family members, so we all know where we stand. Now, what I would really invite you to do is to be really put on a different set of lens on, and approach it with curiosity. Get curious about what is that you actually have the capacity for, what is eating your energy, what is it you still want to get involved with, what do you really want to do. This exercise in particular can be a major breakthrough, especially for those of us who are indeed in charge of our own schedule, who don't have somebody say you need to clock in and clock out in a particular time. Because once we sit down and once we have that, we can also take a look into our business models, and we can take a look into our client loads, and we can take a look into all the things that we are committed to doing and see, does it even fit? One of my personal breakthroughs was when I was figuring out one of the signature systems that I was offering, and I was trying to figure out, okay, how many clients can I take on? How many clients can I serve on a paper? This sounded amazing because XYZ amount of clients amounted to the XYZ amount of dollars in a bank account. Reality was a little bit different, and I had to get really creative in, okay, can I really pull off a whole day, full day VIP days? Or would it be better for me and my clients if I broke those down into half-day chunks? Can I fit in more clients in that particular order? Is it more beneficial also for them to have a shorter and more intense period of times of work as opposed to stretch out the whole day? You'd be amazed what you find out on your end once you play with it a little bit and start seeing of what you thought your capacity was and what your capacity actually is. And then you just go back and you start rearranging things and play around with it a little bit more. And again, if this is something that you know you need support with, Ben and I are experts in that. We can help you at any time. Just reach out, okay? So the second, this was step two, technically. The order of priorities, yes, no, to-do list, rearranging that was number one. Capacity was number two. Results and income, number three, again, ties into that capacity as I just explained. Once you realize how you operate and what needs to be produced and what the outcome is that you're looking for, you can really start playing the step 4 scheduling game. What I mean by scheduling game. So let me give you an example, a concrete example from one of my clients. So this particular client is a creative, an amazing graphic designer, has been doing her own thing for 15 plus years, raising kids along the way, and running a business, which means, as we know, even though you're a graphic designer, when you're running your business, you also are an admin, you also are a bookkeeper, you also are an accountant, you also are a social media marketer and content creator and salesperson. You are in charge of maintaining relationships with your prospects as well as with your clients and everything in between, right? Where she was falling sideways was realizing that the typical time batching of 1 hour or 2 hour chunks in day, trying to wear all these hats in one single day, did not work for her. So what we did instead, we put themes, so to speak, on days. So instead of spending 2 hours every morning doing admin work, we figured, well, Monday is also a moon day, which is something that Diane is really expert at, if you're wondering. Ask us about a planetary planner, by the way. Moon day is awesome for introspection, for recalibration, for just, writing. I use my Mondays for admin work, for creativity, for introspection, for recalibration, for just doing stuff that can get done with the doors closed to the office and me just sitting down without any interruptions. That opened up the rest of the week for this particular client, who she says, once I really dive into a project, I lose track of time. So 4 hours can go by, 5 hours can go by like that, and she's done with that particular project. So we wanted to honor that. So we said, okay, great. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, might as well give yourself that time, and you just lose yourself in creativity and you turn off the phone, and this is all that you get to do. And then Fridays, what's left for Fridays? Getting ready for the next week, getting ready in terms of writing for the social content, posting, reaching out, making sales conversations, closing sales, sending out contracts. So Fridays, and then that kind of spilled over into Monday as well to tie in the loose ends. That for her worked much better. On the other hand, I have somebody who does not work in that rhythm. In fact, the most that she can produce is in what we call 7-minute sprints. So she will set up a timer for 7 minutes. She will dive in, do this one thing, next thing, 7 minutes, next thing, 7 minutes. And then we would do those sprints. And then we would also set up the weeks and the month in a way so that we are looking to complete one big hairy project and create this specific outcome in what we call 8-week sprints. And this is the cycle that this particular person is running at, and it's working for them. So scheduling game and color coding and time batching, it can really be fun. And I really want to share it with you because, it can be really overwhelming when we're trying to compartmentalize ourselves and squeeze ourselves into the expectations that somebody else has put on us, the expectations and the norms that have been taught, from the young age. Even in school, how the system in school was, we kind of went with that. Once we're on our own, things might be different. And even as a professional woman who is in somebody else's office, for example, and not in your own, you still have a great amount of control over your schedule and how you manage your energy. And that perhaps gets to be a whole different training just for that particular market segment, because I know there are quite some differences and yet there are so many similarities too. So I hope this is helpful, and if you have any questions, just reach out and let us know. Take care.